Hey, what are you doing here? It's Monday. Yeah, it's Monday, but it's the holidays, and we have to speak to you as often as we can, as often as you will let us. And there is important news, and we think you're going to think it's good news, in that we need to tell you on this Monday, where so many things are being shut down, and we're sorry, very sorry for our restaurant friends, by the way. And I'm planning on doing as much takeout as possible over the next couple of weeks. At any rate, those poor folks have to shut down. We just, luck of the draw, we get to remain open. So this major announcement for today is that the Wine Steward is still open for business. You can walk in. You can walk in with a mask on. You can walk in and respect your fellow shopper by keeping some distance. We do, in fact, have a bit of a limitation as far as how many people can be in the store at time, depending on occupancy. But the good thing is we rent an old movie theater. There's a lot of space in here, a lot of breathing room, so to speak. So we just want you to know the Wine Steward is open. It is stocked to the hilt with beautiful holiday wines, beers, ciders. That's another pointer today. We have another subject to talk about. And all kinds of delicious foods, cheeses and meats, and other edibles. We just got marzipan from Spain in the other day, and it's called masapan there, but it's the same idea. And things are just rolling in. They've gone a little crazy on the food buying, so we remain essential not just for great wine, essential wines, but also food. You can come in and shop us. Go for it. We do know, however, that a lot of you are going to play it safer than that and want to revert somewhat to how things were about 5 months ago when we were doing a lot more curbside. Want to let you know that option's still there for you. So you can call us, email us, do an order on thewinesteward.com and get a whole box of good stuff brought out to your car. Just to remind you, there's a back door and a front door. The street's open, so curbside in front, back door service as well. Call it curbside if you'd like. We're here to do that for you. Any way you'd like to shop us. The good news is you can shop us. And the other good news is there are so many good things here to enjoy. Any way you possibly can enjoy the holidays, you ought to be including wonderful drinkables and edibles, right? So let's try to make a nice holiday out of it. Want to let you know that there's all kinds of ways to let us know what you'd like. So I've already mentioned thewinesteward.com. But I'm hanging around in my office more and more lately because people are just emailing me and saying, hey, would you build me a case that costs about this much per what I've been buying from you lately? And we'll look up your name and remember your interests that way and build you a custom box of wine. And you might say, throw in some Torres potato chips from Spain and let's have some of that masapan you just mentioned. How about some Marcona almonds and so on? So we could do that for you. I want to remind you again that if you want to give a beautiful gift, have it land on somebody's porch nearby or have it shipped, or you can pick it up and do the delivery safely yourself, we have that gift basket option on our website. It's really meant to be inspiration because we simply couldn't crowd onto that collection on our website called gift baskets, make your own. We couldn't put everything on there. We have so many foods and so many wines that can't be represented there. There's only so much we could do on the website. Point is, it's meant to inspire and to see all the different kinds of wonderful things you can do. And I thought this morning, this is not something you'd want to ship necessarily, but this is a glass that we've been talking up a lot lately. And if you've been giving Wine Steward gifts all these years and sometimes include great stemware, you might want to include what we're calling the latest and greatest stem. This is the New World Pinot Noir glass, which I'm finding very useful for many, many other wines. And why don't you let your recipient figure out what this glass is good for by including it in a gift basket. Again, I don't think we want to ship these, but if it's a pickup or something we're delivering locally, give them a couple of these nice stems and hey, how about a Wine Steward glass towel to go along? These are fantastic for polishing your glasses. I never put my good stemware in a dishwasher. Maybe your dishwasher can handle it, but I just don't trust it. I'm always hand polishing. I wash carefully, and then you need a good towel to make sure you've got all the spots off. This is a fantastic and obviously well-named polishing cloth for your fine stemware, like the New World Pinot Noir glass from Riedel. All right, that's just an idea for your gift basket. How about a couple of other ideas things we've already talked about, but just reminders. You will find most of these on our website, if not all of them. But once again, the website's meant to be inspiration. Just want to remind you that we roast these in-house. These are Marcona almonds from Spain. We get them in raw, and then we heat up the oven and do a little seasoning. This one down here sees nothing but great extra virgin olive oil from Spain and kosher salt. And these guys see those, as well as pimenton, which is paprika from Spain. And it's either one. Fantastic and local, right? Kind of local. From way over there and from right here, because we had something to do with it. How about something from France? How about cornichon? So if you're going to put some nice cheeses in your basket, a fantastic thing to go along would be cornichon. These little pickles are the best in the world, I think, for a cheese platter. You should find out yourself. What else can you do? Well, I mentioned these just the other day, but these are direct from a sustainable farm, sustainably grown hazelnuts from a farm directly sent to us, a farm up in Oregon. So we got them with milk chocolate, with dark chocolate, and we've got them plain as well. So Ash Creek, nice looking packaging. Hazelnuts, another option for your basket. Anything else? Not necessarily in the gift basket world, but how about something that is its own gift basket, already prepared? Our guy, Eric Edgar, many of you know him, is a big cider buff these days. He has been studying the subject for several years now and is now applying his wisdom to a sampler of 6 different ciders that you can buy. And this is in fact on our website. You'll find it in a couple different places on there, but it's 6 different ciders from all over the place. And he has described each one on this nifty sheet that comes along. So what a great gift for about $45 plus tax, I believe. And that's before your wine club discount. Ciders. Yeah, they are in now. I'm sure you have a cider lover in your world. If not, you're going to make somebody a cider lover with that pack. Get in on that. A quick little mention that's meant to reassure you that we started talking about our best wines in the store for 2020, the big list that we published last week. And thank you so much for those who have read it. And we are grateful for all the Facebook thumbs ups, because it's obvious that thing's getting around. Once again, we send out that list every year. It's brand new every year. I do a lot of writing, but it's all convicted writing. These are all wines that we really love here at the store. So all of a sudden, some things on that list have already sold out. And so we wanted to reassure you that particular wines such as Clio, we get a pretty good allocation of that wine, and I had only brought in some of it. So the rest of it will come in this week. We're going to put it back on the website. You can also, in the meantime, email me and say, hey, I'd like 4 bottles. I'd like 6 bottles of Clio, and we'll probably be able to take care of you. Just wanted to reassure you, more Clio is coming. That very desirable Spanish trophy red is coming in, I think, as soon as tomorrow. So keep an eye on the website, or just in the meantime, give us a call or send me an email, jim@theWineSteward.com. Another wine along the same lines is a white wine called Côte de Brune that I waxed poetic about in the last video, where we talked about the Vermentino and Roussanne and Grenache Blanc blend that acts like a white Chateauneuf-du-Pape but sells for quite a bit less. That's already wiped out. We're waiting for a boat to land in Oakland. Actually, it has landed, but the port apparently is a mess. This boat had to sail up and down the coast waiting for a position for 4 days, kind of like that poor cruise ship several months ago. And so finally it's in port, but we're not going to see that wine until this Friday at the very earliest. But just keep it in mind, remember that, because we do have more coming. All right, Côte de Brune, that's that really interesting south of France white. There's going to be other recharges of the website along those lines. I'd like to tell you about a few wines because I can't let a video go by without doing that. We're going to refer sometimes to that list that we did publish, the greatest wines of 2020 that are in the Wine Steward right now. We're coming back to the Wine Steward now that they've sold out. One wine we talked about was Cufflinks, but Cufflinks was a red wine. It was a Cabernet that we mentioned. We call it a Napa Valley Cabernet that is just right, that doesn't try to be too huge. It is just like one of those wines that halfway through the glass you realize, this doesn't have to be huge. This is just delicious. This is something I would like to drink 2 glasses of without falling asleep. Yeah, so Cufflinks Cabernet, it's selling like hotcakes. What we've just brought in is its counterpart. This is a white wine from Cufflinks. I think probably 200 cases were made, no more than that. And it's a really beautiful wine. That's not Chardonnay. So many of you buy up for really good Chardonnay, but often forget to buy up for white wines that are just as interesting, just as good, but they're not called Chardonnay. So this is a reminder that there are other great wines out there that aren't Chardonnay. This is based on Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon. And what are those? Those are the two main grapes you will see in Bordeaux Blanc. So white wine from Bordeaux, France, is going to be made of Semillon and Sauvignon Blanc, sometimes a little Muscadel, but there's none of that in here. What there is in here is another grape that you may not have heard of before called Ribolla Gialla. That's actually an Italian white grape, and there's only there's only 6% of that in there, and just a little kiss of Chardonnay, 2% Chardonnay. So the thing is based on Sauvignon Blanc and Semillon, and it does in fact. When I smell it, if I was to have this blind and not know its source, I would say, gosh, this has got to be Bordeaux Blanc. Bordeaux Blanc is a category that not everybody out there works in or buys these days, but it's super deserving stuff. So you get the jazz of the Sauvignon Blanc happening here. I get kind of like lemon wood, if there is such a thing. And I think I'm going to put this on a bigger stage. It seems like this wine deserves it by the smell of it. Wow, yeah. I think this Bordeaux glass will work very well for this wine that saw just a little kiss of oak, along with Semillon, Sauvignon Blanc, Ribolla Gialla, Chardonnay. The prevalent thing here is the pungency, perhaps, of passion fruit. Have you ever had a passion fruit? Have you ever noticed that tropical fruit, the whole range of them, they're not necessarily just obviously fruity. They've all sometimes have some side characteristics. So passion fruit isn't just fruity. It's got this pungent thing going on too, but it's very intriguing. Let's see what it does in the mouth. Wow, it's bright. It's got a middle richness, and then it just kind of vaporizes, and you have this wonderful fragrance in your mouth afterwards, but it's not a ponderous effect at the end. If you like great Sauvignon Blanc, if you've ever had Bordeaux Blanc, you should check out Cufflinks White. This sells for $22.49, and it comes down from there with your 10% Wine Club discount. Cufflinks White. I'll make sure I get that on the website if I haven't yet. Here's a wine that we did put on that top list, whereas Cufflinks White did not appear. It could have and should have, but we only had 40 positions. This got a position. This is a Santenay. This is a red Burgundy from Santenay, France. So Burgundy's the general area, and Santenay is the neighborhood where they make white and red Burgundy. This is beautiful in that it's ready now. Last week I talked about a red Burgundy from Michel Gay. That was a Chory Le Bon, and I talked about how it's a little more anxious. This wine's more plush, plump, more ready to drink because it comes from the wonderful 2018 vintage. And that's a year when the Chardonnays are a little bigger and richer, and some people will actually prefer 17s because they want acidity in their white Burgundies. I think the 18 Chardonnays are gorgeous from Burgundy. But that said, this is obviously red. The reds are ripe, and they're not necessarily trying to be the next California-style Pinot Noir. You can still tell that these are wonderfully restrained and profound, poetic Pinot Noirs from Burgundy, but there's just a little more skosh of fruit happening in 18. I think this is something that you can serve to the whole table, and they'll say, oh yeah, I guess I do like foreign wine. So check out this Santenay. Santenay's the place. The producer is Philippe Collin. This is on our website. It is in the section that calls itself the best 40 wines in the store, or the greatest wines, or whatever we call that list this year. You will see it on the website, okay? This is also on that list. One of the most wonderful Cabernets I've had this year. It's not inexpensive, but Larkmead is always wonderful. If you want to buy up for a truly beautiful Cabernet, do this. It does everything. It does purple, it does red, it does ready to drink now, it does the longevity thing as well. It's got complexity. It's got all those fancy words that I often apply to wine. It says so many wonderful things in one Cabernet. Larkmead, it got 97 points from someone or the other. I don't care. We've tasted it. We've loved it. We actually served it by the glass, boldly put it on the menu over the weekend, our very last weekend here with Tables Outside. We thought, why not? Let's just put out I think it's $126 regular price, but we put it out there by the glass just to say, we'll see you in a few weeks, guys. And this was a Cabernet well enjoyed. So we have some more coming. We're running low, but there's another 3 6-packs coming tomorrow. Larkmead Cabernet. If you want a state-of-the-art Napa Valley 2015, go no further. This is it. This is another wine that could have been on the list, should have been on the list. And yet, some people now think it's a foregone conclusion that we're going to carry La Rioja Alta 904 Rioja. This is beautiful Tempranillo with, I believe, a little bit of Graciano added to it. It is in barrels for 4 years. So it's a Gran Reserva because it spent enough time in the winery and in barrel to be called so. It is wonderful wine that some people will wait for decades, not just years, but decades to try. In a great year, a La Rioja Alta Rioja will be beautiful. In 20 or 30 years, it will remain intact and will have bloomed in a way. This wine you can drink right now, but I would decant it. I did lamb shanks last night with its little brother and posted a picture of that on Facebook. And a lot of you saw the picture of the Viña Ardanza by this same producer. That wine sells for about 40. This sells for a bit more, but it gets rockin' scores every year. And besides that, it is a now and later Rioja. It is probably one of the 2 greatest classic style producers in Rioja. We're talking about a place that's 4 times the size of the Napa Valley. Lots of producers. This is cream of the crop right here, creme de la creme. This is gorgeous Rioja, 2011 Gran Reserva, a wine you can do now. Please decant it, please have lamb with it, or save it for many, many years, if not decades. This is a wine that we've shown you before, but it's been a while. It's just a reminder that we have it. This is a producer called Domaine de Bernardin from Baume de Venise. Baume de Venise is actually the name of the area. It's the biggest, boldest print, as the French wines are often labeled, assigned to the area from which it comes. So Baume de Venise is right next to Vaqueras, which is right next to Gigondas, which is only, 10, 15 minutes drive away from almighty Châteauneuf-du-Pape. This wine is lovely. We still have some. This is just an alert. What I want to tell you that in the spirit of the holidays, we also have this. This is the dessert wine from the producer. And the fact is, if you guys didn't know it, Baume de Venise was originally more famous for its dessert wine, Muscat de Baume de Venise, than for that red wine I just showed you. So this is a historically great and currently great dessert wine made of Muscat from the same producer. It sells for $30 and you wine club members get it for less. This is a wine that I decided to buy a couple of cases of this year and say this is one of our favorite dessert wines of 2020, even if it didn't go on the list. The last thing I want to let you guys know is I'm still awaiting confirmation from our friend Tom Switzer and our other friend, the importer Charles Neal. But where we've now just come to the conclusion that we can't have any events in the store, we were going to try. But starting a week or so ago, the news got worse and worse, and we now know, okay, no Châteauneuf-du-Pape event is going to happen here, at least before January 1st. So why don't we at least get Charles Neal in here, who would normally be here physically about 2 weeks from now, showing a champagne event. Why don't we at least do a Zoom thing with him? So let's have the consolation Zoom effect at least. So I think we're going to be putting together a 6-pack of 3 different champagnes and 3 different French reds, all imported by our good friend Charles Neal and sold to us by our good friend Tom Switzer, who will hopefully provide some recipes for those wines as well. So anticipate seeing an email about that. I don't have everything arranged yet. I don't have a date. I don't have a time. It's a concept. But now that we know that we're not going to get to have an indoor event, at least we can do something on Zoom. And you can have your fun Charles Neal event at home. So why do I talk so fast? Any idea? It's the holidays, man. I am so glad that you guys are working with us. I am so sorry that you can't be upstairs on our mezzanine or out front even having a glass of wine with us. But thank you for that great weekend you just gave us. And thank you for continuing to support us. Have a great holiday, and please allow us to help. Send us an email. Use thewinesteward.com. Send me an email. Or come on in with a mask on and respect your fellow shopper by keeping distance, all right? Thanks so much. Happy Monday. Happy holidays. Where's that wine?